Welcome back now, 5:22. Time to get our egg news. Let's check in with Bob Bosold over at Wax.
Well, good morning, Robert. The Cubs going to win the World Series, or the White Sox and the Bears and the Bulls now that the Pope is from Chicago?
You know, I don't know if we can get any more divine intervention now than that.
Are you familiar with the area where he grew up? You're from Chicago too.
My father grew up on the south side of Chicago in Beverly, which is just right next door to Dalton, which is like right on the border of Chicago. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to
hard
know.
To believe, isn't it?
You know, and he's got one of his brothers still lives in the Chicago area, down
really?
in New Lenox, which is down on the south side there, and yeah, I mean, but his one brother in Chicago did confirm he is a Sox fan. He's not a Cubs fan.
Yep, that's what I said. I heard that too, and I see some folks are trying to claim he's a Cubs fan, but that won't work.
But but we do have the Pope.
Yeah, that's right. We got the Pope. That's great news. Well, let's see what other news we have this morning on a Friday, shall we? Besides hosting farmers and farm groups from all over the country this week, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins also spent time on Capitol Hill testifying before the Senate Appropriations Committee. Rollins testified and defended the Trump administration's budget cuts for frozen program spending and what's happening to the $21 billion in disaster aid that's still on its way to farmers. Rollins said disaster aid is complicated, but she hopes to have all the program details worked out soon and all the information available at least by the end of this month. That money will cover natural disasters like drought, hurricanes, flood, wildfires, and other extreme weather events that occurred in 2023 and 2024. Rollins also defended staff cuts at the USDA in both Washington and around the country. Now, that number is about 15,000 who took the buyout they were offered. And in her testimony to the senators, Rollins said, and we quote, "Remember, they resigned. They weren't fired," unquote. While the debate over climate change continues, even as studies show the Earth is heating up, a new report from the World Meteorological Organization found that the past 10 years have been the Earth's warmest decade in the past 200 years, with some research saying it's the hottest the Earth has been since the last ice age nearly 20,000 years ago. The hottest temperature recorded last year was 122 degrees. That was in Saudi Arabia. Climatologists believe there is a direct link to the hotter temperatures and weather events like drought, hurricanes, tornadoes, and other destructive forces of nature. And the court decisions being rendered against Bayer Ag over the herbicide Roundup continue to be costly. One of the latest court decisions in Georgia awarded the plaintiff just over $2 billion. That's a billion with a B in damages after he claimed he was suffering from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma because of his longtime exposure to the glyphosate-based product. Bayer officials say, though, that they are optimistic over their appeal, saying that the decision is, and we quote their terms, constitutionally excessive and cannot stand, unquote. A previous jury awarded another plaintiff $2.25 billion. That was later reduced to $400 million, which is still a pretty big number. Well, World Dairy Expo has named their honorees for this year's show, and being recognized this year as Industry Person of the Year will be Wisconsin native Jim Mulhern, who for many years was president and CEO of the National Milk Producers Federation. This year's World Dairy Expo down in Madison will run September 30th through October 3rd. Grain markets were mixed yesterday on the Board of Trade as the beans were up, corn was down. International trade, just a lot of balls in the air that the traders aren't sure of. Overnight, July corn, $4.51. That was up 3 to 4 cents from yesterday's day trade. Wheat was up a penny. July soybeans down a penny at $10.44. Dairy markets were mixed to lower, I guess we could say, as the barrel cheese price fell 1 3/4 cents. Blocks up 2 cents at $1.84 a pound. Butter was unchanged, $2.32 1/4. And we lost some of our $19 milk in our Class 3 prices. May was down 18 cents at $18.56. June fell below $19, down 27 to $18.75. July was down 22 cents, back below $19, as prices were lower out through June. So that's where we are, and I don't know, we're not going to get 122 degrees, but 80s are going to feel awfully nice.
Yes.
It's going from cool warm to hot.
You're going to get that convertible workout.
Oh, it's going to get a lot of miles this
Yes.
weekend, that's for sure.
You have to send us a selfie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a great one. You guys have a great Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there.
All
Thanks a
right,
lot,
take
Bob.
care, Bob. We'll
You
see you
bet.
next week.